Every transformation begins with a quiet whisper the moment a soul realizes it can no longer remain the same. There is a moment in every human life when the world becomes strangely silent. Not on the outside, but inside. You may recognize this moment. It happens when you look at your life and whisper to yourself, there has to be more than this. This script, this journey you and I are about to take together, begins exactly here in the quiet ache of the human heart. That ache is not weakness, it is awakening. There once was a young man nameless because he represents all of us. Every night he found it hard to sleep, not because of noise, not because of worries, but because he felt something inside him was unfinished, unrealized, dormant. He had dreams, big ones. He had a heart full of fire. He believed life had a purpose for him. Yet every morning he woke up into routines that felt too small for his soul. One night, unable to sleep again, he walked outside. He looked up at the sky. Millions of stars stared back, ancient and silent. And in that silence, something whispered inside him, "You were not born to live half awake." This is the same whisper you feel now. This is the same pull that brought you to this script. This is the beginning of your awakening. Transformation does not begin with motivation. It does not begin with discipline. It begins with awareness. Science calls this metacognition, the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, habits, and patterns. Spirituality calls it witness consciousness. Ancient wisdom calls it awakening. The wise understand this. You cannot change what you do not see, and most people never truly see themselves. They see their mistakes, they see their fears, they see their failures, but they do not see their patterns, they do not see their loops, they do not see the prison of thinking they built unconsciously. You are different. Right now you are stepping out of that unconscious cycle. You are stepping into awareness. The brain is a prediction machine. Its goal is not happiness, it is survival. So it repeats familiar behaviors. It recreates familiar emotions. It seeks predictable outcomes. That is why your life may feel stuck. Not because you are weak, not because you are lost, but because your brain prefers the familiar pain over unfamiliar possibility. This insight alone is liberation. Because once you understand that your brain is not your identity, you reclaim your power. Awareness breaks the automatic loop. Awareness opens the door. In spirituality, there is a teaching found across many traditions. When the soul is ready to grow, life becomes uncomfortable. Your discomfort is not punishment, it is preparation. You are shedding an old layer of self. You are outgrowing your past environment. You are awakening to the next chapter of your life. The universe shakes you not to break you, but to wake you. This moment in your life is sacred. It is the beginning of your evolution. I speak to you not as a guru, not as a saint, not as a philosopher, but as a messenger carrying the timeless human truth. You are capable of far more than the life you have lived so far. And I know that you already feel it. You feel the potential inside you, like light trapped behind thick clouds. You feel the possibility of a bigger destiny. You can sense the future version of yourself calling your name. This is not imagination. This is alignment with truth. Stories begin with tension, with longing, with questions. Your life is the same. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly at the beginning of the greatest turning point of your life. Every hero begins lost. Every wise person begins confused. Every enlightened person begins restless. Confusion is not the opposite of clarity. It is the doorway to clarity. Restlessness is not the opposite of peace. It is the calling toward a deeper peace. Hopelessness is not the opposite of purpose. It is the void where purpose is born. Think of a seed buried underground. From the outside, it looks lifeless. Nothing moves, nothing changes. But inside the seed, an entire universe is unfolding. Roots begin to push. Energy begins to awaken. Life begins to crack open. The darkness is not the end. It is the womb of new beginnings. Right now, you are that seed. Your growth is already happening silently. This script will water the seed. Your awareness will give it light. Your actions will help it rise. There was once a warrior born into a tribe known for impossible strength. A tribe of people who could lift stones heavier than horses, run for days without rest, and walk through storms like they were mere breezes. Every child born in that tribe was told one thing the day they took their first breath. Your name holds your strength. Your name was your identity. Your identity was your destiny. But one day a great tragedy struck. A young warrior during a fierce battle fell from a cliff, hit his head, and lost his memory. He forgot his skills. He forgot his purpose. He forgot his destiny. Most importantly, he forgot his name. The tribe searched for him for many days. When they finally found him, they saw something shocking. The strongest young warrior in the tribe, the one with the greatest potential, the one destined to become their leader, was now living like a frightened child, trembling, unsure, powerless. Not because he lost his strength, not because his body became weak, but because he no longer remembered who he was. The chief of the tribe leaned close and whispered, "Your power was never in your muscles. It was in your identity." The warrior's journey back to himself began not with training, not with discipline, but with remembering who he truly was. You came into this world with potential bigger than mountains, a purpose older than your heartbeat, a destiny more powerful than your fears. But somewhere along the way, someone told you you weren't good enough. Someone told you your dreams were unrealistic. Someone told you to be practical. Someone told you to shrink. And the most dangerous thing of all? You believed them. You forgot your name. You forgot your identity. You forgot your strength. But the moment you remember, your entire destiny shifts. Modern neuroscience has discovered something extraordinary. Your brain is always trying to prove your identity right. If you believe, "I am unlucky," your brain will filter life to confirm it. If you believe, "I am not disciplined," your brain will sabotage your efforts. If you believe, "I always fail," your brain will ignore your successes. This is called confirmation bias, and it literally shapes your reality. Your beliefs create your perception. Your perception creates your actions. Your actions create your habits. Your habits create your character. Your character creates your destiny. This is not poetry. This is biology. The identity you hold today is the blueprint your brain is following. But here is the liberating truth. Identity is not fixed. Identity can be rewritten. Identity can be chosen. You are not the identity you were given. You are the identity you decide to become. Across every spiritual tradition, without exception, identity is the root of destiny. Stoics taught, "You become what your thoughts make you." Hindu teachings say, "As the mind, so the man." Christian scripture says, "As you believe, so it shall be done unto you." Buddhism teaches, "All that you are arises from your mind." Sufis say, "You are what you think you are." Identity is the seed. Destiny is the fruit. Change the seed, and the fruit must change. Most people try to change their life by changing habits, routines, environment, discipline, motivation, goals, mindset, thoughts. But they forget the most important layer, identity. If a person believes I am lazy, no habit will last. If they believe I am unlucky, no opportunity will matter. If they believe I am not worthy, no relationship will feel fulfilling. You cannot build a new life on an old identity. It will collapse every time. Your life changes permanently only when your identity changes permanently. Belief is not just a thought. It is a frequency, a vibration, an energetic state of alignment. When you believe you can become more, your energy rises. Your intuition becomes clearer. Your path begins to open. Your mind starts noticing opportunities. Your heart begins to trust. Your spirit starts guiding you. Belief is the language through which the universe responds, and disbelief is the language through which you close your own doors. This is why you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe you are. Your identity is a choice, not a condition. You are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your insecurities. You are not your old habits. These are conditions, not identity. Identity is chosen. A person who was once weak can choose the identity of strength. A person who was once lost can choose the identity of purpose. A person who was once broken can choose the identity of healing. A person who was once average can choose the identity of greatness. Your identity is your most powerful tool, your most powerful weapon, your most powerful key. To begin shifting your identity, I want you to answer one question. Who would I become if I stopped believing my old story? Close your eyes. Feel the question. Let the truth rise from within you, not your fears. Who would you be without the lies you were taught? Strong, focused, disciplined, creative, spiritual, confident, full of purpose, guided, aligned, unstoppable? That version of you already exists. Identity is not something you build from zero. It is something you remember. Just like the warrior who forgot his name. You think you are becoming someone new, but the truth is, you are returning to who you were always meant to be. Every dream you have is a memory from your higher self. Every desire you hold is a message from your soul. Every time you feel, I'm meant for more, it is your true identity calling you home. Your job is not to chase greatness. Your job is to align with it. Imagine waking up each morning thinking you are steering your life with decisions, choices, and willpower. But beneath your awareness, beneath your thoughts, beneath your personality is a deeper, older, more powerful force, your subconscious mind. It controls 95% of your behaviors, 95% of your emotional reactions, 95% of your decisions, your self-worth, your habits, your patterns, your fears, your identity. Your subconscious is not just a part of you. It is you, the ancient version of you, shaped long before you understood the world. And until you understand it, you cannot truly understand yourself. There was once a child who lived in a quiet village. He was gentle, curious, full of dreams. But he had one companion. He could not escape a shadow that followed him everywhere. This shadow wasn't like ordinary shadows. This shadow whispered to him, "You're not good enough. You shouldn't try that. You might fail. People won't like you if you speak up. You don't deserve more. Life is dangerous. You should stay small." The child believed the shadow because he didn't know the truth. The shadow wasn't his enemy. The shadow was his past protective programming. As the child grew, the shadow grew with him. The boy became a man. His dreams turned into silent wishes. His courage turned into hesitation. His freedom turned into fear. Until one day, the wise elder of the village approached him and said, "Why do you run from the shadow that exists to protect you?" The man whispered, "Protect me. It only holds me back." The elder replied, "Your shadow is not trying to limit you. It is trying to keep you safe based on the stories you believed before you were old enough to choose your own." This story is the story of your subconscious mind. It is not punishing you. It is protecting you with outdated information. It is time to rewrite the code. The subconscious is formed early, very early. From birth to age 7, your brain is in a hypnotic state called theta frequency. This means you absorb beliefs with no filter. You download emotional patterns automatically. You take in fears, rules, and limitations as truth. You learn what love feels like or doesn't feel like. You learn how safe the world is or isn't. You build your identity without awareness. Most of your adult struggles are the echoes of childhood programming you didn't choose. Your subconscious patterns were not created by your adult intelligence. They were created by a child's interpretation of the world. This is not your fault, but it is now your responsibility. Neuroscience says, the subconscious stores all emotional memories. It records repetition, not logic. It reacts faster than the conscious mind. It controls autonomic survival responses. It runs your default behaviors automatically. This means You don't eat because you're hungry, you eat according to subconscious patterns. You don't procrastinate because you're lazy. You procrastinate because your subconscious associates action with danger. You don't fear failure because failure hurts you. Fear it because your subconscious connects failure with humiliation, rejection, or loss. You don't stay stuck because you want to. You stay stuck because your subconscious is protecting you from the unknown. Your subconscious doesn't care if you are fulfilled. It cares if you are safe. And safe is defined by your past, not your potential. Every spiritual tradition has described the subconscious mind. Hinduism calls it samskara, impressions from the past. Buddhism calls it vasana, stored tendencies. Christian teachings call it the heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Sufism calls it the nafs, lower self needing purification. Taoism calls it the soft animal within, reactive yet innocent. All these teachings say the same thing. Your life is shaped by the patterns you do not see. Enlightenment begins when you bring the subconscious to light. The greatest insight is this: your subconscious is not in charge. It only acts in the absence of conscious awareness. When you become aware, you take the steering wheel back. The subconscious is like a loyal but outdated assistant. It keeps running old programs even if they no longer serve you. Your job is not to fight it. Your job is to retrain it. Because once the subconscious is reprogrammed, your entire life changes automatically. 1. Repetition rewires the brain. Your subconscious learns through consistency. Whatever you repeat becomes your identity. 2. Emotion imprints deeply. High emotional states, both painful and uplifting, program the subconscious faster than logic ever will. Visualization is real rehearsal. Neuroscience shows the brain doesn't distinguish imagined from real. Imagining success is neurological training. 4. Affirmations change identity over time, not because they are magic, but because they create new neural pathways. 5. Environment reinforces programming. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, the content you consume all program your subconscious. Change what you feed the mind, and the mind begins to transform. Your subconscious determines what opportunities you notice, what opportunities you reject, what risks you take, what relationships you attract, how much money you believe you deserve, how much love you accept, how much peace you experience, how disciplined you are, how you handle trauma, how you respond to fear, how far you allow yourself to grow. This is why some people remain stuck for years, not because they lack talent, but because they are trapped in old programming. To change your life, you must first change your inner script. Transformation begins with a single realization: your subconscious is not your enemy. It is a wounded child still protecting you. When you heal yourself, you heal that child. When you rise, the child rises with you. When you rewrite your identity, the subconscious becomes your ally. This is the true beginning of inner freedom. Take a moment and ask yourself, what belief from my past still controls my present? Write it down. Bring it into awareness. Name the shadow. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when growth stops being an idea and becomes an undeniable shift in their energy. A moment when the world around you begins to respond differently, not because life suddenly improved, but because you did. Most people wait for conditions to change, but the ones who transform their destiny understand a deeper, older, universal law. Reality does not change first. Your energy changes first. Then reality rearranges itself around that energy. This is the shift. And this chapter is your map into it. Every result you create, every opportunity you meet, every person you attract, they all follow a pattern you are unconsciously broadcasting. Psychology calls it cognitive bias. Philosophy calls it perception. Science calls it frequency and resonance. Spirituality calls it vibration. But they are all pointing to the same truth. Your internal state becomes your external experience. When you are in alignment, even the wrong doors open into the right rooms. When you are out of alignment, even the right doors somehow remain locked. The world mirrors your dominant emotional code. Every major transformation begins with 3 inner shifts. These are ancient principles recognized by mystics, supported by psychology, and echoed in spiritual traditions across civilizations. 1. Identity shift. I am becoming someone new. Transformation requires a new internal identity, not a new external habit. When your identity evolves, your choices follow effortlessly. You stop forcing change and begin embodying it. 2. Energetic shift. I hold a higher frequency. Your emotional baseline determines your opportunities. Gratitude raises it. Clarity sharpens it. Purpose stabilizes it. When your energy changes, life becomes responsive. 3. Perceptual shift. I see possibilities I could not see before. The moment your perception widens, your reality expands. You notice synchronistic opportunities. You interpret challenges differently. You feel guided instead of lost. This is why the shift is so powerful. It upgrades how you see yourself, how you feel about life, and how reality reacts to you. People often think transformation is loud and dramatic, but true inner shift is subtle, almost quiet. You begin noticing small signs. You stop chasing outcomes. You feel less pressure and more clarity. Your mind becomes calmer. You make decisions with confidence instead of fear. You attract aligned people and situations without effort. You feel supported, guided, and somehow protected. And then, suddenly opportunities appear that feel almost too perfect. Paths open, resources align, synchronicity increases. Life begins cooperating with you, not by accident, but by resonance, because you are finally broadcasting the energy of the version of you that you were always meant to become. Every spiritual tradition in its own language teaches a version of this law. When you elevate your internal state, the universe elevates the path before you. It is not magic, it is alignment. You are no longer operating from fear, lack, or desperation. You are operating from faith, clarity, and intention. And the universe responds to the frequency you choose with unwavering precision. Your reality does not transform when life becomes easier. Your reality transforms when you become stronger, calmer, clearer, and more aligned. The shift is not something you wait for. It is something you create. And once it happens, your old life cannot continue. Your new timeline begins. There is a moment in every spiritual transformation when life begins to whisper. At first, the signs are subtle, almost too gentle to notice. A repeated phrase, a recurring thought, a random encounter that feels strangely meaningful, a number sequence, a dream that stays with you long after waking. Most people ignore these signals, but those who are awakening feel a pull, as if reality itself is trying to get their attention. And the truth is, it is. Life is constantly communicating with you. Your only job is to learn how to listen. Reality does not speak in sentences. It speaks in patterns. It speaks in repetition. It speaks in symbolism. It speaks through emotion, intuition, and synchronicity. Psychology calls them cognitive connections. Spirituality calls them signs. Quantum theory calls them informational fields. Ancient wisdom calls it the voice of the divine. But regardless of the label, the message is the same. You are being guided. You are being supported. You are being aligned. Nothing is random. Everything is communication. The 3 primary channels through which reality sends messages. 1. Emotional signals. Your emotions are your first language with the universe. Every strong emotion is a message. Peace means alignment. Anxiety means misalignment. Excitement means the path is calling. Resistance means something needs to be released. Your emotions are not obstacles, they are instructions. 2. Synchronicity and repetition. When something repeats, it is not coincidence. It is communication. Repeated numbers, repeated symbols, repeated names, repeated opportunities, repeated thoughts. Repetition means, pay attention, there is meaning here. This is why people all around the world report similar phenomena after spiritual awakening. Because once your frequency shifts, reality mirrors that shift through synchronistic patterns. 3. Intuitive knowing. There is an intelligence within you that is older than your mind, older than your memories, older than your fears. It does not communicate with logic, it communicates with certainty. That quiet inner voice that says, "This is right," or "This is not your path." That is not imagination, that is guidance. Your logical mind is built for survival. Your intuition is built for destiny. Every message you receive shares one purpose: to pull you onto the timeline where your highest self already exists. The signs are not trying to convince you, they are trying to align you. You are not being tested, you are being directed. All the signs in your life, the numbers, the dreams, the synchronicities are confirmations that your energy is shifting and that a new version of reality is trying to unfold through you. You are never walking this path alone. You are being guided every moment. You are being shown the way. You are being reminded that your life has meaning far beyond what you can currently see. When you feel lost, the signs appear. When you feel aligned, the signs multiply. When you feel ready, the signs evolve into opportunities. Because you are not just moving through life, life is moving with you. You are not imagining the signs. You are not overthinking the synchronicities. You are not reading too much into the patterns. You are awakening to the truth. Reality has always been communicating with you. Now, you are finally awake enough to hear it. Breaking the invisible walls, the art of dissolving inner limitations. There are two kinds of prisons in this world. The first is made of concrete and steel. The second is made of thoughts, beliefs, fears, and unhealed memories. Most people will never enter the first, but almost everyone is trapped in the second, not because they are weak, not because they lack potential, but because no one ever taught them that the most powerful limitations are the ones they cannot see. This chapter is about breaking those invisible walls, the mental, emotional, and spiritual cages that quietly shape your destiny without you realizing it. It is time to walk out of the prison that was built inside you before you even had a choice. The silent architects of your limitations. Your limitations were not born within you. They were installed by childhood experiences, by society, by trauma, by fear-based teachings, by past failures, by the opinions of people who could not see your potential. Psychology calls these core beliefs. Spirituality calls them energetic blockages. Neuroscience calls them neural pathways. Philosophy calls them mental conditioning. Different names, same effect. They create an invisible ceiling in your mind, a limit on how much you believe is possible, a boundary on who you think you can become. A fear that keeps you from stepping into your destiny. And the most dangerous part? Most people mistake these limitations for their personality. The three forms of invisible limitations. 1. Mental limitations. These are beliefs like, I am not capable. I have bad luck. Nothing ever works out for me. I am too late. I am not enough. These thoughts are not reflections of reality. They are reflections of conditioning. The mind repeats what it has been trained to believe, not what is true. 2. Emotional limitations. These are fears, wounds, and survival patterns that control your behavior. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of being seen, fear of judgment, fear of losing control, fear of abandonment. Emotional limitations do not block opportunities. They block your ability to walk toward them. 3. Spiritual limitations. These limitations are the most subtle and often the most powerful. They show up as a feeling of disconnection, low self-worth, an inability to trust the universe, lack of faith in divine timing, feeling cursed, believing life is against you, forgetting that you are guided. When your spiritual connection is weak, your destiny feels distant. When your spiritual connection is strong, your path becomes clear. The scientific truth. Your limitations are neurological, not natural. Here is the truth neuroscience reveals. Every limitation in your mind is a brain pathway created through repetition. It is not a permanent structure. It is not a fixed identity. It is not your fate. It is simply a pattern, and all patterns can be rewired. Your brain is designed to change. Your identity is designed to evolve. Your limitations are designed to be broken. This is neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on new thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. This means you are never stuck. Only your neural pathways are, and those can be rewritten. The ancient truth: your limitations are energetic, not eternal. Spiritual traditions say the same thing through different language. Whatever you believe becomes your vibration. Whatever you fear becomes your wall. Whatever you avoid becomes your block. Whatever you question becomes your destiny. The universe is not limiting you. Your vibration is. When your frequency rises, your limitations dissolve. When your consciousness expands, your boundaries break. When your inner energy shifts, your external life transforms. This is the law of vibration, the idea that everything responds to the energy you emit. To break limitations, you must change the frequency of your identity. The moment everything changes, there comes a moment in every person's life when they realize something powerful. Your limitations were never real. Your belief in them is what gave them life. The moment you stop believing in the walls, they fall. The moment you question your fear, it loses control. The moment you decide to trust your path, doors open that were invisible before. As your consciousness rises, the prison dissolves. Your limitations die the day your awareness awakens. You were not created to live small. You were not designed to be trapped. You were not born to carry the insecurities of those who came before you. You are a soul with infinite potential, a mind capable of rewriting itself, a spirit connected to a higher intelligence, a being designed to evolve without limit. The walls around you are made of smoke. The door is already open. The path is already waiting. The universe is already guiding you. All that remains is one decision. Step out of the invisible prison and meet the life that has always been yours. Rewriting the subconscious, the hidden engine that shapes your destiny. There is a force inside you more powerful than motivation, more influential than discipline, and more dominant than willpower. It is the silent architect behind every decision you make. It is the invisible hand shaping your habits, emotions, relationships, and destiny. It is the voice you hear before you even think. It is the blueprint of your identity. This force is your subconscious mind. If your conscious mind is the captain, your subconscious is the ocean it sails on. If the ocean is calm, the journey is smooth. If the ocean is stormy, the captain struggles no matter how skilled he is. This is why so many people feel stuck even when they work hard. They are trying to use conscious effort to fight a subconscious pattern. In this chapter, you will understand how your subconscious was formed and how to rewrite it from the deepest level so your destiny shifts with it. The hidden truth: your subconscious controls your life. Modern psychology estimates that up to 95% of your thoughts, emotions, and actions are subconscious. This means you are not living according to what you want. You are living according to what you believe. Beliefs you did not choose, beliefs you inherited, beliefs you absorbed, beliefs you never questioned. Your subconscious determines what you think you deserve, how much money you allow yourself to receive, the kind of relationships you accept, how you react under stress, how you see yourself, how you interpret the world, how you show up in your destiny. This is why spiritual masters, scientists, and philosophers all agree on one principle. Your inner world creates your outer world, and your subconscious is the foundation of that inner world. How the subconscious is formed. Your subconscious was shaped during your early years when your brain was in a highly programmable state. Spiritualists call this the imprinting stage. Neuroscientists call it the theta brainwave period. Psychologists call it developmental conditioning. Before you learned logic, you learned meaning. Before you had conscious thought, you absorbed emotional truth. Before you understood the world, you absorbed identity. And everything you absorbed became part of your subconscious script. the tone of your home, the behavior of your parents, the emotions you were allowed to feel, the reactions of the people around you, the experiences you lived, the stories you heard, the praise you received, the pain you carried. Your subconscious did not judge these experiences. It simply accepted them as normal. And those beliefs became your reality. The subconscious loop, how destiny repeats itself. Every unexamined belief becomes a repeating pattern. You think you attract similar situations because of bad luck. But in reality, your subconscious seeks what is familiar, even if it is painful. This is why insecure people attract people who confirm their insecurity. Unhealed people choose unhealed partners. People afraid of failure never take risks. People with low self-worth sabotage opportunities. Those who expect to struggle keep struggling. Those who believe they are unlucky see misfortune everywhere. Your life becomes a mirror of your inner programming. This is the mirror principle repeating at the deepest level. If you want to change your reality, you must first change your subconscious script. The science, how the subconscious can be rewritten. Your subconscious is not permanent. It is programmable. It is flexible. It is alive. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity the ability of your brain to reorganize itself with new thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This means you can unlearn fear. You can dissolve limiting beliefs. You can install new identity patterns. You can rewrite emotional responses. You can build new neural pathways. You can literally change who you are from within. But rewiring the subconscious requires one thing: emotional repetition. Your subconscious responds to what is repeated with emotion, not what is repeated with logic. This is why daily habits matter. This is why affirmations work only when felt deeply. This is why visualization works only when embodied emotionally. This is why trauma heals only when processed through the emotional body. The subconscious speaks the language of feeling, the spiritual truth. The subconscious is the gateway to the divine. Every ancient tradition says the same thing. The subconscious is the bridge between the physical self and the divine self. It is the interface where your soul whispers and your destiny emerges. When your subconscious is wounded, your connection to guidance feels blocked. When your subconscious is aligned, you feel protected, guided, and supported by the universe. Your subconscious is where intuition rises, signs are interpreted, dreams communicate, destiny is revealed, divine timing is sensed, emotional healing occurs, identity transformation begins. The subconscious is not a storage system, it is a sacred interface. The place where your human self meets your higher self. Your subconscious is not your enemy, it is your student. It repeats what it has been taught until you teach it something new. When you heal it, it supports you. When you elevate it, it empowers you. When you rewrite it, it transforms your entire destiny. Everything you want, peace, purpose, confidence, clarity, discipline, success, spiritual connection begins with the subconscious. Because the universe cannot give you a reality that your subconscious does not believe you deserve. Rewrite your subconscious, and reality will rewrite itself around you. Destiny and timelines, how your choices bend reality. There is a mysterious truth whispered across ancient philosophy, modern quantum physics, spiritual teachings, and even psychology. Your destiny is not fixed. It is fluid. It is alive. It evolves with you. You are not walking down a single path. You are standing at the center of many. Every moment holds multiple futures. Every choice shifts the trajectory. Every belief alters the direction. Every emotion changes your frequency. Every action opens one door and closes another. This chapter reveals how timelines work, how destiny is formed, how it can change, and how you can consciously step onto the timeline where your highest self is already living. Destiny is not a sentence, it is a spectrum. Most people believe destiny is something written long before they were born. But destiny is not a script. Destiny is a field of possibilities. You are not assigned a single future. You are surrounded by many futures, all existing as potential. The future where you stay stuck, the future where you rise, the future where you heal, the future where you break patterns, the future where you become powerful, the future where you meet your purpose, the future where you fulfill your soul contract. You do not have one destiny, you have many, and the version you experience depends on one thing: which timeline you align with. The science. Timelines are quantum possibilities. Quantum physics says that particles exist in multiple states until one state is observed. Your life mirrors this structure. Before you make a decision, all versions of the future exist. When you choose, you collapse the possibility into a path. This is called quantum selection. It means you are not discovering your destiny, you are selecting it through your beliefs, through your emotions, through your discipline, through your courage, through your healing, through your alignment. Every time you elevate your consciousness, the timeline beneath your feet shifts. The spiritual truth. Timelines are energetic pathways. Spiritual teachings describe timelines not scientifically, but energetically. Your life experiences match your vibration. Your opportunities match your frequency. Your relationships match your level of consciousness. When your energy rises, your timeline upgrades with you. This is why intense spiritual awakenings often lead to massive life changes. New people, unexpected opportunities, sudden endings, new purpose, fast transformation, deep clarity. Your external world rearranges itself to match your internal frequency. You are not manifesting the timeline, you are tuning into it. The psychological truth. The future changes when you do. Psychology teaches something powerful. When your identity shifts, your life shifts with it. Human beings do not act based on what they want. They act based on who they believe they are. If you believe you are powerless, you will choose powerless paths. If you believe you are broken, you will choose futures that confirm it. But when your identity changes, when you become the version of yourself who is worthy, disciplined, focused, courageous, aligned, and spiritually awake, your decisions begin to point you toward a different timeline. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes trajectory. Trajectory shapes destiny. Your future does not change when life changes. Your future changes when you change. The timeline equation, how destiny actually shifts. There are three forces that determine which timeline you step into. 1. Intention, what you seek, what you desire, what you are moving toward. Intention creates the direction. 2. Emotion, how you feel, how you vibrate, what you embody internally. Emotion determines the frequency. 3. Action, what you do consistently, how you show up, what you build. Action shapes the path. When your intention, emotion, and action align, you lock onto a timeline with powerful speed. Your destiny becomes magnetic. Your progress becomes accelerated. Your life begins to move in ways that feel guided, synchronistic, almost supernatural. Because alignment is the bridge between you and your highest timeline, signs you have shifted timelines. You will know you have entered a higher timeline when you feel sudden clarity. People who drain you begin to fade away. You crave peace more than chaos. You start making decisions your old self never would. Synchronicities increase dramatically. You feel protected and guided. Your intuition strengthens. You start attracting opportunities effortlessly. Your energy becomes more stable. You feel like a different person internally. These are not coincidences. These are indicators that your frequency has changed and your future is changing with it. God or the universal intelligence does not force you into a destiny. It invites you. It whispers, it nudges, it opens doors, it places signs in your path, it stirs desire in your soul. It sends people who guide you. It creates synchronicities that confirm your direction. But ultimately, you choose the timeline. You choose the frequency. You choose the path. The divine provides the possibilities. Your consciousness chooses the reality. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not bound to the past. You are a timeline traveler, a destiny sculptor, a creator of paths, a being capable of stepping into infinite versions of yourself. The future is not written. The future is waiting for you to write it. There comes a moment in every seeker's life when they ask the question that has echoed across all civilizations, all ages, and all souls: is my destiny fixed, or can I change it? This question has been carved into stone tablets, whispered in temples, analyzed in laboratories, and wrestled with inside lonely bedrooms at 3 a.m. And the truth is simple, yet profound. Your destiny is not a straight line written in stone. It is a living architecture shaped by your thoughts, your energy, your choices, your identity, and the unseen forces that guide you. Destiny is not a prison. Destiny is a potential, a blueprint waiting for your consciousness to activate its higher pathways. But most people never access these pathways because they live as who they were, instead of who they are becoming. So in this chapter, we will explore how destiny actually works through energy, psychology, spiritual laws, and ancient principles. And by the end, you will see that destiny is something you can bend, shape, and transform the moment you choose alignment. Let us begin. If you stand in a room and speak, only the radios tuned to your frequency will pick up your voice. Similarly, your life can only deliver outcomes that match the frequency of your inner state. Destiny is vibrational. People who believe in limitation attract limiting experiences. People who believe in growth attract transforming experiences. People who live through fear attract obstacles that confirm that fear. People who live through courage create paths where none existed before. Modern neuroscience calls this neural frequency entrainment, the phenomenon where your brain filters reality according to your dominant emotional and cognitive states. Ancient mystics call it the law of vibration, the understanding that everything is energy, including your future. But the truth is one and the same. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. Your destiny begins to shift the moment your inner frequency changes. Your mind is not moved by motivation alone. It is moved by identity. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will sabotage opportunities. If you see yourself as someone powerful, you will walk through the same doors someone else was too afraid to approach. Your identity creates your behavior. Your behavior creates your pattern. Your pattern creates your outcomes. Your outcomes create your destiny. So destiny is not a mystical light waiting in the sky. It is the mirror of your identity projected into time. When you shift who you believe you are, the entire trajectory of your life rearranges around that shift. This is why the people who reinvent themselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually often experience sudden breakthroughs. These breakthroughs were not sudden. They were earned through identity evolution. There are moments in life when you feel guided, protected, or moved by a force beyond logic. You meet someone at the perfect time. You receive an opportunity you did not chase. You accidentally take a path that leads to everything you have prayed for. This is not random. This is alignment, the moment your inner energy harmonizes with the divine architecture of your life. You are always being guided, but guidance is only visible to those who are quiet enough to listen and brave enough to follow. The ancient sages said, "Your destiny whispers long before it speaks." This whisper comes as intuition, synchronicity, a recurring dream, a persistent desire, or a strange inner knowing that you are meant for more. The question is not whether destiny speaks. The question is whether you are tuned to hear it. Every choice you make places you on a different trajectory. There is a version of you who gives up. There is a version of you who keeps going. There is a version of you who doubts their power. There is a version of you who becomes unstoppable. There are timelines where you fulfill your purpose, and timelines where you never begin. Destiny is not a single line. It is a map of possibilities, and you choose the path not through wishing, but through the energetic choices you make each day. Choose discipline over comfort, and a higher path opens. Choose belief over fear, and doors appear where walls once existed. Choose alignment over chaos, and your life becomes guided. Choose responsibility, and the universe hands you power. Destiny is shaped by micro-choices, tiny alignments, soul-level decisions that slowly sculpt the life that finally feels like it was always meant for you. Most people wait for signs. They wait for clarity, confidence, blessings, certainty. But destiny does not open for those who wait. Destiny opens for those who move. Clarity comes after you take the first step. Confidence comes after you fall a few times and rise again. Guidance comes once you show the universe you are ready for it. The perfect moment does not arrive. You create it through action. When you move, the divine moves with you. Responsibility is not a burden. Responsibility is the gateway to power. The moment you say, I am responsible for my mind, my energy, my emotions, my habits, and my future, you are no longer a victim of life. You become the architect of it. People who transform their destiny do not blame the world. They observe themselves. They shift their internal state. They release what does not serve them. They discipline their mind, and life begins to reorganize in their favor. Responsibility is the signal to the universe that you are ready for the next level of your path. There is a sacred law woven into the fabric of reality. When you change internally, the world cannot remain the same externally. Your relationships shift. Your opportunities shift. Your intuition strengthens. Your path becomes clearer. Your soul begins to guide you with precision. You feel protected, supported, and carried. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you became aligned. Destiny is not something you chase. Destiny is something you align with. And the doorway to alignment is inner transformation. Your future is not defined by your past. Your destiny is not defined by your wounds. Your path is not defined by your mistakes. The moment you awaken to your power, the moment you choose alignment, the moment you decide to become the highest version of yourself, your entire destiny begins to change. Not slowly, but profoundly. The universe responds to identity. It responds to intention. It responds to aligned action. It responds to belief. And it responds to you the moment you declare, I am ready. There is a moment in every seeker's journey when something inside them shifts. It does not happen with fireworks. It does not happen with loud announcements. It happens quietly, like dawn arriving while the world still sleeps. It is the moment you stop searching for the path and realize you are the path. The moment you stop waiting to become someone and finally decide to be who you were always meant to be. This final chapter is that moment. The moment of awakening. The moment of stepping into your highest self with clarity, power, and inner peace. Let us walk into it together. Since childhood, you have felt it, a small voice inside you that knows who you are meant to become. This voice is not the voice of ego. It is not the voice of fear or doubt or comparison. It is the voice of your highest self, the eternal version of you that exists beyond time, beyond identity, beyond limitation. Every time you felt a dream burning inside your chest, every time life pushed you toward growth, every time you sensed that you were made for something greater, it was this voice guiding you. Science calls this the default mode network, the part of your brain that activates during self-reflection, imagination, and envisioning the future. Spirituality calls it intuition, the soul speaking in symbols, feelings, and inner knowing. Ancient teachings call it Dharma, the path your spirit chose before you entered this world. Different names. One truth, your highest self has been waiting for you to listen. Most people believe transformation means becoming someone different. In reality, awakening means remembering the truth beneath all the noise. You were born whole. You were born powerful. You were born with purpose. You were born connected to the divine. Nothing in life can erase this. It can only be forgotten. When you awaken, you do not add something to your life. You remove what was never yours: fear, doubt, limitation, other people's expectations, old emotional wounds, stories that do not belong to your soul. Awakening is subtraction, not addition. The more you release, the more clearly you see who you truly are. Your highest self is not a mysterious spiritual figure sitting in a mountain cave. Your highest self is the you who thinks with clarity, acts with courage, moves with discipline, speaks with truth, lives with compassion, aligns with purpose, creates with intention, loves without fear, trusts the divine plan, rises again and again after every fall. This version of you already exists as a psychological and spiritual blueprint. Neuroscience shows that visualization strengthens neural pathways. Spirituality teaches that energy aligns with intention. Philosophy teaches that identity shapes destiny. All three agree: when you repeatedly step into a higher identity, your entire life reorganizes around that identity. This is how destiny shifts. This is how transformation begins. This is how awakening unfolds. Not in one dramatic leap, but through aligned choices made every single day. The soul and the science of alignment. Alignment is not a mystical concept. It is measurable, observable, and repeatable. Psychologically, alignment means your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony. Energetically, alignment means your vibration is steady, elevated, and coherent. Spiritually, alignment means your path matches your purpose. When alignment happens, you feel it instantly. You stop forcing. You start flowing. You stop doubting. You start trusting. You stop surviving. You start evolving. It is the state athletes call flow, monks call presence, scientists call coherence, and spirituality calls awakening. Different definitions. One reality. When your inner world aligns, your outer world begins to mirror that alignment. The highest self lives through intentional energy. There are two ways to live. One, reacting to life, letting external events decide your emotions. Two, creating life, choosing your emotional vibration regardless of circumstance. Your highest self always chooses the second path. Because the highest self understands a fundamental truth: your energy is your life's foundation. If your energy is chaotic, your life becomes chaotic. If your energy is peaceful, your life becomes clear. If your energy is strong, your life becomes expansive. You do not need perfect circumstances to awaken. You need disciplined energy. You need the courage to choose: gratitude over resentment, faith over fear, action over hesitation, presence over distraction, love over ego. When you regulate your energy, you regulate your destiny. Living as your highest self means taking sacred responsibility. The highest self does not blame. The highest self does not avoid. The highest self does not wait for life to get easier. The highest self understands that responsibility is the key that opens every locked door. Responsibility is not guilt. Responsibility is not burden. Responsibility is power. It is the declaration: I am responsible for the life I create from this moment on. This single decision changes your vibration, your brain, your momentum, and your future. It is the beginning of true awakening. The highest self finds strength in stillness. In a world full of noise, the most powerful thing you can do is become still. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. In moments of stillness, your nervous system resets, your intuition becomes louder, your awareness deepens, your fears dissolve, your soul speaks. Meditation is not about escaping the world. It is about seeing the world clearly. Even 3 minutes of stillness can realign your entire state, because the highest self is found not in chaos, but in quiet. Every awakened path has a cost. Awakening is beautiful. Awakening is powerful. Awakening is divine. But awakening also demands courage. You will have to let go of old identities, old habits, old relationships, old fears, old stories, old versions of yourself. Transformation requires sacrifice. You must release who you were to become who you were meant to be, but the trade is worth it, because what you receive in return is priceless. Clarity, purpose, inner peace, guidance, strength, self-trust, alignment. A life that finally feels like it belongs to you. Awakening is choosing the highest path again and again. The highest self is not reached once. It is chosen daily, chosen through discipline, through courage, through belief, through self-awareness, through compassion, through aligned action. Every sunrise gives you a new chance to become who you were meant to be. Every breath is a reset. Every moment is a doorway. Every choice is a step on your spiritual and psychological evolution. You awaken not in one day, but in every day that you decide to rise. The final truth of your journey: you are not lost. You are becoming. You are not broken. You are shedding old layers. You are not behind. You are aligning. You are not alone. You are guided. And you are not meant for a small life. You are meant for a meaningful one. The universe has been waiting for you to remember your power. Your soul has been waiting for you to return to your truth. Your destiny has been waiting for you to step into the identity that matches the life you desire. And now you are ready. This is your awakening. This is your moment. This is your ascension into your highest self. Walk forward now, courageously, intentionally, spiritually, and powerfully. Your new life is not ahead of you. It begins right here, in this breath, in this awareness, in this decision. This is the beginning of the rest of your destiny.